We got a special Classy Chaos. We love when we have guests in studio. Molly Mesnick, who you may know from The Bachelor, season 13. Also, I know I looked because I didn't know.
You did your research, Nina.
I would have guessed season 4. I'm like, I have no idea.
That old, actually.
But I don't know how many seasons of The Bachelor there are.
People ask all the time, and I just saw something like an article that said there's been 48 seasons.
Whoa.
What?
Like Bachelor, Bachelorette.
Holy balls.
I don't know if that includes Paradise.
Golden Bachelor.
Yeah, it said 48 seasons.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that is crazy. I was just curious because I wanted to make sure I was legit with the introduction. And I was like, season 13, okay.
Wow.
Here we go. Usual suspects are back. Victoria, Ashley, and my host, Nina. But Molly, you're also not a stranger to this building.
I'm not.
If you are a Seattle listener, then you also might have listened to her when she was on with Bender.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, really?
Yes.
I think you told me that. That's so cool.
Oh, Victoria, you are a national treasure.
Yeah, Molly's going to have fun with this. She's going to learn all about Victoria.
Shit.
You're going to have as much fun as Mark did when he met you. He was like, oh, she's as great as I imagined.
Oh, my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I worked here for 7 years.
Wait, really? When?
Yes. I stopped 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 7 years before that.
Yeah.
All of those years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What made you want to stop?
I got let go.
So it was partially her choice and mostly not.
But I mean, pandemic, that's what happens.
COVID casualty.
Honestly, if you don't get fired in radio, did you even work in radio?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
So, knock on wood, Victoria.
The timing, but the funny thing is the timing was actually absolutely perfect because the kids were home from school. And so I like played teacher for a
Which
year.
was super fun.
Was it? No.
I've never hated being a mom more than that time.
Absolutely agree. Like Jason would come home sometimes and it'd be 2:00 and I would be drinking. And he's like, really, Molly? And I'm like, you have no idea what my day was like. I mean, happy hour started earlier and earlier as the pandemic went on.
It really did, because you'd start at like 5 and you're like, okay, it's 5 and I'm unemployed and I'm having to teach my child. So I should have started drinking at 10 and then taught her while I was hammered, because then I wouldn't have hated this more.
Absolutely.
But then it just got earlier and earlier. Mark brought that up to me the other day. He was like, well, it's not like during the pandemic where you were drinking at 3. And I was like, hey, I had my reasons.
Absolutely.
Listen, I don't blame you 1 second. That was the only time in my life where I was like, I'm really thankful I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not in a relationship right now. Like, this is awesome.
I was very jealous of the people. You know how everyone felt bad for, like, if you're single and live alone, you must be so I was jealous of the lonely people.
Yeah. I loved it because I did not feel lonely. I had my friends on the Hallmark Channel.
Yes.
And all of the Marvel movies. So I felt really into it.
Wow.
But I mean, yeah, okay. So pandemic after radio. If you don't know what Molly's been doing since then, you want to tell us?
Sure. Yeah. So after being a teacher,
A drunk teacher.
I joined Jason's real estate team. So we are doing real estate together.
That's amazing.
He's been doing it for a very long time, over 10 years. And so once the kids went back to school and I had nothing to do, he was like, I need help. So I've joined him and been doing that ever since.
Is working with your person easy?
No. No. And Jason and I are very different humans and we do life differently. So that can cause a lot of chaos and arguments. But
Classy chaos.
yeah, we started going to the office together every day. But then that got kind of bad because we'd be together all day long. We'd come home, have dinner, and I couldn't say, like, how was your day today? Because I was with him all day. So we've separated since, where he goes to the office every day and I work from home.
Okay.
So that we have some sort of separation in our
That's
time.
nice.
Something to talk about.
Yes. Yes.
I'm jealous, though, because, I mean, one, I wish I could work at home. But also, how did you get to choose home and he had to go to the office?
He didn't really have a choice,
Okay.
Ashley. You
All
know
right.
how this
I know,
goes.
you're right.
Yeah.
So true. So working in real estate too, I always wonder like what your life is like after being so public. You know, everybody falls in love with your love story. You're on the radio. Jason is, familiar to people when you're in the grocery store. So now you're selling homes to people.
Yep.
Do you feel like you're getting more sales?
Yes.
Because people know who you are?
Yes.
Thank you for being honest.
Yes.
Thank you for being honest.
It helps. It really does. Like, we get so many clients just from my Instagram. You know, people, if I post something house related, I'll get DMs, every so often saying, hey, we're looking to sell. Would you guys work with us?
Are they fans or it's just... That's so fun.
Yeah, but we always end up becoming really good friends with our clients. You spend so much time with them. It's a very emotional thing that they're doing when they're buying or selling. And Ashley can attest to this. We don't see ourselves as famous or select. Like, we're very, very normal. And so I think people get through that real quick and realize that. Like, the first meeting, they may be nervous, but then they realize, oh, these are just my agents that are helping me with my house. And then it normalizes.
It was super weird. I remember we went somewhere in like downtown Seattle, and I had never been, I guess it was like a Bachelor event or something. We went, it was like a band. I don't remember what it was, but there was a bunch of Bachelor people there. And I don't think of you guys as Bachelor people.
Right.
And so I was just talking to them, and these people would come up and they'd be like holding their friends' hands, and they were like, oh my God, could we please get a picture? And it was like a super weird thing to see that your friends are that famous that don't seem that famous at all because they're just your friends.
Cool.
And how they handle it too, because they're just so gracious. They're like, yeah, of course. And it's like they strike up a natural conversation. So I could easily see how that would translate to business, because it's just, this is, no matter how we meet you, welcome in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell this is the first time I'm meeting Molly, even though I've known of her for years and years. We have a bunch of mutual friends, but you are just as warm as you would expect.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you kind of a deeper question that isn't, about all the Bachelorette stuff, but it kind of, because I always wonder how that affects your self-esteem. Like, while you were on the show, post-show, everything afterwards, like, how have you been, or how was that affected in the beginning? And I would imagine there'd been some kind of struggle somewhere along the way to protect yourself at this point.
Yeah, we got really lucky that we were on the show decades ago, that there was no social media. Like, I didn't even have a Facebook page when I went on the show.
Really?
No. So, our season wasn't even in HD. Like, we're standard
Really?
definition. If you were to watch it now, it would have the black bars on the side of the TV.
Oh, that's
He's making us feel old.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, because I remember in my apartment in Renton and being like, well, with Mark, we have to watch this season because Jason's on it.
Right,
And
right.
him and Bree were like, okay, we're going to watch this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, what year was that? 20?
It aired in 2009.
Okay, so you were 9.
Oh my God. Unfair, Nina.
I was
Unfair.
like trying to think back. Like, my mom talked about your season.
Really?
But that was like the first time I had heard of it.
Yeah.
And so she was really excited about like your season, like all at that time. But social media was very different. Like, that wasn't a thing then.
It wasn't a thing. And so that helped, to answer your question. It helped not having, had I had Instagram, I'd be like curled up in a hole.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been so bad. We were during the era of like tabloids and blog sites. And so that's where we would see some sort of feedback. It was never, I don't know that I ever really got anything bad about like my appearance or anything like that. So
Good.
I don't know.
I'm glad.
It was just a different time,
Did you get tabloids about you?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
What was that? How did that
Yes.
feel? Like, that's like a magazine, like that you see like in the grocery store, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's a magazine, like People Magazine,
Us Weekly.
Okay, no one calls them tabloids now. They're just magazines.
Okay, magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're still tabloids.
Oh, okay. Well,
You get humbled real quick around here.
I know.
like, what was
When
that
Victoria's
like?
like, wait, what was it like before electricity?
Okay, I know you had electricity.
I was alive before the internet. Yeah, that's got to be weird for you. That was super bizarre. Once our finale aired, there was probably a 1-month stint where I could not go in the grocery store without seeing my face on a magazine, which is weird. Weird. But I don't know. It just, again, it like normalizes. It becomes just part of your life. Like, people coming up to us and recognizing us is just kind of a piece of our life. It's just normal now, which is weird.
Yeah. Do people ever like reach out to you for advice that are on some of the newer seasons?
No, we have not had that. I mean, guys who are considering being the Bachelor, if they're in the running, will sometimes reach out to Jason and ask about his experience, but we're so far removed. There's so many other people that are more
I don't know. You're one of the only couples that's made it.
Yeah, but we're not relevant.
You're relevant to me.
But that makes no sense to me, though, because the whole point of The Bachelor is you're going on and you're going to find your love and you're going to get married, but nobody gets married. Nobody stays together. But you and Jason did with your plot twist. But like, it happened. So not many of them are. Like, how many? Like a handful? Not even.
Just us,
Tristan.
Sean and Catherine from The Bachelor. Sean and Catherine, us, and Ari and Lauren, and that's it. There's 3 couples.
Yeah.
But they even did he picked the other girl right first and then went.
So did Jason.
That's why.
Yeah. I love the realization coming to Victoria's brain as she's talking about this.
Yeah.
She's like, oh God, I do remember.
I'm like, that's what my mom talked.
That's what your mom was talking about when you were 9.
Could you imagine if that happened now? Like, what if you met Jason and it wasn't on The Bachelor and he was like, okay, I'm going to go be with this girl and then came back to you? Do you think you would have reacted the same way?
No, probably not. I mean, there is this piece of the show where it is a competition.
Right.
You know? And so anyone who's saying like, I'm in it for love and I just want to, like, you still want to win.
Yeah.
Right? You want to be the chosen girl at the end. I wasn't in love with Jason. It's too short of a time for that to happen. But I definitely knew, like, I like this guy. He's cool. I want to date him. I don't want to be dumped on national television.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, yeah.
I was just going to ask.
Pride.
I was going to ask something and then my brain totally farted and it left. But there was something important in my head that I was going to ask. Hold on.
Can I ask
Wait with
something?
me. Yeah, you ask something and then it'll come back.
Well, I'm just curious. What was that like in the moment when that happened? Like, did you know he was gonna?
No. Okay. So, did you guys watch the season that was just
That's what I
on?
was going to ask.
I didn't, no.
Okay, it was actually, I don't watch the show anymore, and I decided to
That's
watch
what I was
this
going to ask you if
season.
you
It was
watch it
good.
anymore.
I
That's
watched
what I was
this
going to ask.
season, and I loved it. It was a great season.
Was it?
Yes.
I haven't watched in. When was your season on? 2009?
Yeah.
I don't think I've
Yeah,
watched
it's
since
been a while.
2009.
Okay, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I just get really upset.
Why?
I get really upset and I get really invested because part of it's like, I don't know how I would handle, I'd have a hard time competing now, let alone being in a house with all of those people. And so it gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, why are you picking this girl? Or that's being stupid. Like, and I hate that I'm judging people because everybody's trying to be whatever, but then I just get mad.
Well,
And I'm like,
Yeah.
how is that love? That's not right. And oh my gosh, I couldn't compete against those people because I'd probably punch you in the face.
Whoa.
So
Easy.
I'm not good for that show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see
I
that.
think a lot of the drama is edited. Okay.
Yeah.
And the girls that you're like, how is he keeping this girl? It's because the producers are keeping that girl.
Got it.
So it's very, very orchestrated.
Okay.
Dang.
It's not scripted. It's not fake. It's just they create scenarios.
I think that's actually when I stopped watching was because they were all of a sudden there was like a series of because I did watch a little bit after your guys' season, but there was all of a sudden they were bringing in someone every time who had a girlfriend or had a
Yeah.
boyfriend
Oh, yeah.
or was there for the and I was like, oh, so they're gonna have at least one every season.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, and that was probably on purpose too.
Yeah.
because you have to find.
But
different
then
ways
it
to make
seemed
it juicy.
fake. It was like, okay, so you're actually actively searching out somebody who's gonna be a
for the drama.
shithead.
Yeah. But I don't feel like they did that this season.
Okay.
It felt like old school Bachelor days.
Okay.
It felt really natural. And the reason I watched is because we went to the Golden Bachelor's wedding, the old guy, right? We went to his
I
wedding.
did watch some of that. That was really cute.
Well, we met Joey at that wedding.
Okay.
And he was awesome. Like
yeah,
Jason
he's a
golfed with
cutie.
him during the day. We were with him that night and he was like, it's a really good season. The girls are great. You're going to love it. Give it a try. So I was like, okay, if you're telling me to watch it, I will watch it. And it was
And
awesome.
it was.
Yeah.
And did he get engaged at the end?
He did.
Okay. And the person's nice. She's nice. Good.
Seems nice.
All
yeah.
right. I support it then. I'm like, I don't know who he is or who she is, but cheers to the happy couple.
Right. So they do have bachelor reunions for you guys, like every once in a while, or is it just? Was this not normal to go to
This
that
was
wedding?
not normal. Yeah, we haven't been asked to do something in a while. Again, we are irrelevant. So we were actually really surprised that they asked us to go. They've asked us a few times, and we just, if it doesn't fit into our lifestyle or whatever's going on in our life right now, we will say no. Like, we don't have to be at these things. It doesn't do anything for us. So if it interrupts with like what the kids have going on, we'll say no. This one fit in our schedule. We were going to see a bunch of old friends. They were going to be there. So we said, let's just go and do it. And it was great. It was fun to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. I bet it's like camp kind of too, right? Seeing some old friends
Yeah.
and then kind of that whole set thing again.
Yeah. The one interesting piece was that most of the people who come off that show have like egos bigger than this room.
Yeah.
So that was a little hard.
Mm.
You know, like they only wanted to talk to the important people in the room.
Annoying.
Yeah. And it's just like, guys, we were on the same show. Like no
Yeah.
one here is better than the next person.
That's so true.
Yeah.
You're all technically
Yeah.
on the exact same
Yeah.
show.
So that I'm not into that whole thing. But
Yeah.
like seeing the older people that were truly our friends was
Yeah.
fun.
I bet.
You mentioned that you like when you the month after the show or whatever, you couldn't walk into a store without seeing your face on a tabloid.
Yes.
How has your relationship with tabloids changed since that month where it was like out of your control, right? Because they were just printing whatever they were printing and you couldn't say anything or do anything versus now your relationship with tabloids?
Interesting question. I think that taught us to be a little more filtered. Even if we would do interviews, they can take anything out of context and make it seem like something else. So that made me really filtered, which is interesting because then I got into radio and you can't be filtered.
Right.
So I give Bender a lot of credit. He pulled a lot out of me. It took me about 6 months to realize, like, just let your guard down. And then it's way more fun, right?
Yeah.
When you just don't care. It's so much more fun. And so... I mean, that doesn't really relate to tabloids, but like these days, I don't even look at that stuff.
Right. But you, like, because you guys have still been in them, like in parts of your life, right? Like, we did a baby shower for you, and that was in People, right?
Really?
And, yeah.
That's so cool.
And it was like, you know, so there are certain things that you could use them, I guess, to your advantage.
Yes.
And so do you think that that's just like your kind of, like you've gotten smarter and understood like kind of how they work and what you can do?
I think tabloids have changed quite a bit. They used to pay so much money for like anything. And they don't do that anymore. Because with social media, everything's
so it's all out
instant
there.
and celebrities can post their own stuff. They don't need a tabloid to get a message out anymore. We took advantage of it big time back then, though. Like, we made a ton of money
Good for
selling
you.
photos.
Good.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I'm in People.
She's got it
And
framed
then I
on
was
her
like,
wall.
oh, I should. No, I do not. I looked at the picture once and I was like, no one should ever see that.
I want to see
I do too.
We'll find it.
No.
Social media, we'll post it. Okay.
Oh, God.
I think I'm making this experience that you had on The Bachelor a little deeper than it was, probably for you and a lot of people. But if you think back to that time too, because we talk about dating on this podcast a lot, right? So we're talking about swiping, we're talking about the experience of the conversations and stuff that we're having, competition in real life, not in the same house. Like, what was your biggest takeaway for life? Because we were talking before this episode, you're like, I was 24. Like, I don't think I was ready to be put in a position to find love like that. So what did you find, or what did you learn about yourself the most during that process?
Ooh, I don't know. I think I was just in survival mode while I was filming.
Fair.
Honestly, I did not like being on camera at that time in my life. I was uncomfortable. It was weird. Like kissing a guy and having 8 cameras around you is not normal. Or like you look out when you're filming, you guys don't see it. Behind the camera, there's like 100 people sitting there watching you, which is really weird. So I don't think I allowed myself to really like relax while we were filming. I don't know that I even put much thought into like what I was doing, what I was saying. I think if I could go back, I probably would have been, ask more intelligent questions and just like really tried to like understand the person I was with.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just kind of trying to get through it, you know?
Understandable.
Yeah.
Did you guys have that time afterwards where like you dated?
Yeah. So that's honestly a blessing was Jason letting me go and then us getting back together. We like reset and we started our relationship all over and started dating without cameras, without the show. We did long distance for 10 months before I moved out here.
Wow.
So that, I mean, that allowed us to just be normal.
Sure. Yeah.
How have, like, because I think one of the things, and obviously this is on a much smaller scale for any of the three of us than it is for you, but I feel like you always get people on social media that they think they know you because they hear you on the radio or they've seen you on TV or in your case, both.
Yep.
And they want to talk to you in a personal way. And for me, I think the one thing, like my trigger is when you bring up my child that you don't know. And I'll get sensitive depending on who it is. So because I know like Riley, now you'll have her on your Instagram and you'll do things with that.
Yep.
But did it take you a while to get to the place where you were okay with people talking to you about her?
No, and Riley comes up every time I meet someone. Like literally 2 days ago, someone was like, "What happened with the ruffles in her lunch?" And I know you know that. That's a deep story, but
Rufflegate. No, I was invested. Yeah. I was like, you better get that ruffle thing.
But it happens every time I see someone. They ask about Riley. I don't mind it because it's been a part of our life for 15 years. What I don't like is when people want to take a picture and they want Riley to be in it.
Yeah, I can understand
and then that's when I step in. I'm like, no, she doesn't want to be in it. Like, you know, I never want to force Riley to do something that makes her uncomfortable ever.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Yeah.
Have you ever been put in a position where you have to be that firm?
Yes, it happened one time when Riley was in kindergarten. She got into the class or whatever, and there's this like, you know how there's neighborhood Facebook groups?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like this Kirkland ladies group or whatever. A mom of a kid in her class realized who Riley was, took the class photo and posted it with a circle around Riley's face.
What?
And said, my kid is in the Mesnick's kid is in my kid's class.
That's weird.
And that felt very weird to me.
Like who would even think to do that?
Yep. And so I reached out
chills.
to this woman and I said, hey, we don't really like to say, like, announce where our kids go to school just for privacy reasons. Do you mind taking that down? And she lost it on me. Lost it. I mean, it went really sour. So I ended up saying something to the teacher because I was just like, this is just an invasion of privacy. It feels really weird. And the teacher was one of my friends.
Yeah.
And so she said something and they got it taken down. That was the only time it was really bad.
But not even like for Riley's sake, for all those kids' sakes. Like
Right.
none of
You
those
shouldn't
parents,
be posting
none
someone
of those
else's
parents,
kid on your without their permission.
Exactly. Like you post your kid
Yeah.
and do what you want with your kid. But when it comes to other kids, it's either like your close friends that you know where you stand and where their parents stand on social media. You do not broadcast an entire class photo where there's parents you don't even know, like their kids are on there. That's not cool.
But also circling it. Like that makes
that
it
was,
look
that was
like
weird.
Yeah,
like a
that's
kid out.
super
Like,
creepy.
I mean, there's so many creepy people out there. My brother doesn't even let me post pictures with my niece and nephew anymore.
really?
Yeah,
really?
he won't let me because he's like, well, no, people know who you are now, and I just don't want them to put that together.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
you got to protect your kids. Mm-hmm. You also got to protect yourself, man. There's people out here trying to take you down, but
Yeah.
you know.
That's the thing. It's like social media has made things like it's an entirely different experience to be alive and like, doing these things than it was when you started The Bachelor or even before. Like when I started working radio, I had MySpace.
What?
I know.
I mean, aren't you so glad though that like
Yeah.
in college there wasn't social
I'm
media?
so thankful.
Oh my God.
so
You
bad.
guys, I went to a party one night hammered on accident. Like I didn't realize how much
You
vodka-
accidentally got drunk.
like that drunk, yes, because my friends came over and they wanted they wanted to do like vodka and cranberry juice, but we did it in these big water jugs. Well, I didn't know how much vodka because you're filling it like it doesn't look like it's that much. Well, I drank it. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, why didn't we go to the party? And I got this look from my friend like, I will fucking murder you. Because we did go to the party.
Oh, no.
And I spent the first hour of the party sitting next to the toilet upstairs while all of my guy friends were coming in and peeing next to me.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
Then
no.
I went down the stairs. Like my friends were trying to help me leave the party. And this was in the tube top days. That came down.
You don't know what a tube top is?
Holy balls, child. What do you know?
What do you mean, like a bandeau?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are you calling it a tube top?
That's
Because that's what they were called.
And on the stairs. So it's like this party with everyone dancing on the floor, like the main floor. And I'm coming down the stairs, boobs out.
Yeah.
So that's one night. Two horrible social media moments I never would have lived down. Thank God.
Yeah, I had a lot of those. We've had a lot of those together.
We're responsible adults now.
Yeah. I mean,
we make only wise decisions. And no, I do not Uber to Molly's house for happy hour play dates.
Okay.
Yes, she does.
funny.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. Palmer asked me, because we're going there today, Palmer goes, so Mom, how many drinks are you going to have? And I was like, well, just 2. I'm going to drive. She goes, so we're not Ubering?
So we're not Ubering? Ashley,
But
she knows.
I've taught my child. She knows if you have more than 2 drinks, you do not drive.
That's amazing,
Uber.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life lesson.
That's responsible.
You got to learn early. That way she doesn't make those mistakes.
Exactly. I'm not ever going to let her. She will know what Uber is her whole life.
You put those phones away too. You got to teach her no face, no
Yeah.
case.
Yep.
You know, keep it
It's
safe.
true.
You guys are doing happy hour today.
We are.
Oh, that's so cute.
And we call them happy hour play dates because then our kids fight.
That's fun, though. Honestly, that's the kind of mom I want to be. It's like have other moms where we can just go happy hour and like,
Yeah.
Wait, but Molly, do you still get to be Ratchet, or like, did you have that time?
Ratchet.
Like, because
Girl, you have no
I mean,
idea.
you say 24, you're on at 24. I mean, there's a lot of years to be Ratchet after that, but I guess it wasn't captured. Like, so she's looking at me like, yes.
Yeah, we just don't put it on social
yeah, we
media.
just don't post it.
Okay.
Molly's a good time.
I can party
Molly
harder than
is a
probably
good
all
time.
of you combined.
It's true.
Wow.
And then the best part is you put Molly and my husband Mark together, and
Bad
it
news.
is
Bad
oh my
news.
God, it is the best.
That
We went to
sounds
a wedding
really
in
fun.
Texas, and that was probably one of the most fun
this-
weekends I've ever had. That
Best night of my life.
It was hilarious.
What did you
That's
guys
where she
do?
realized her love for Mark.
Oh, Pop
so
Can.
good.
Pop
Yes.
Can. We call him Pop Can because you probably noticed he's got such a bubble butt. You could put a Pop Can on it.
I don't know that I've ever noticed.
Yeah, we played mini golf one time back in the day when Mark and I were dating, and Nina was like, "Look at his pop can butt."
I couldn't help it. I just was like right there. And I wasn't being creepy. It was like more of a compliment.
Yeah.
So ever since then, he's been Pop Can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to check out Mark's ass next time.
Yeah, you should. You just got to get past his. So he did like he likes to wear themed shirts to weddings. He'll be like, "Oh, we're going to a wedding. What's the theme?" And I'm like, "The theme is they're fucking getting married. Like, that's the theme." But we were in Texas, so we wore a shirt with like
tassels
all up and down.
And a bolo.
And then we got back in the room after a night of drinking, and he was cawing like a bird.
And that's when you guys bonded?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What sounds were you making, Molly?
Well,
She was just
I was
filming
just
it,
filming it.
and then laughing really hard. Yeah.
Amazing.
So did you guys know each other before Molly worked over here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Yeah. We've known each other for a
Very long time.
Really?
Well, Ashley used to be good friends with Jason's ex-wife.
Yeah.
So she's
I
known
didn't
Jason
know
since
this.
high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Since right graduate. Yeah. Since I was 18. That's when I met Jason.
Wow.
That's
crazy.
Yeah. And the first time Jason and I met, instantly we were like
besties.
frick and frack. We were just laughing and having the best time. And then his ex-wife didn't like going to sporting events. So when he had extra tickets, he'd be like, "Hey, you want to come to the Mariners game with me?" So we'd go to the Mariners game and talk sports and laugh and just be goofy. And then that didn't work out, obviously.
Right.
And we're in this.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll leave it at that.
That's so fun. Everybody's got some kind of connection to the Mesnicks because we were talking too before this podcast. I'm friends with Larry,
Yeah.
Jason's brother, who used to run around with us a
Wait,
bunch
what?
too.
That's so funny.
I
We're
know.
all literally connected.
We're all connected.
That's who my friends from high school wanted me to date so that we would be all three
Larry?
dating brothers.
Everyone. Larry has dated everyone in Seattle.
We didn't date. We only made out once. That was it.
Well, he's also done that with everyone.
Yeah. And it was more like we were forced to do it because they were like, "You guys are going to be great together. You got to get together." And we were like, "I don't think so. But we're here at this house. Fine, we'll make out today." And we'll be done.
Oh, well, I'm glad you guys had that experience. You made
Sure.
out with some of my friends
Yeah.
too. That's a
Nina,
whole
did
nother
you ever
party.
make out with Larry?
I never made out with Larry. I dated one of their other friends.
Okay.
So that was a different story.
Okay.
Yeah. But I watched him make out with a lot of people.
Yep, me too. Me too.
Oh, we keep it all in the
Oh
family.
my gosh.
Okay, so one thing you guys have to know about Molly is she is like the best host in the entire world.
Oh.
So for our listeners, if you don't follow her on Instagram, like you should because you can get home decorating tips.
Oh, like
because
home host, like Martha Stewart.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Like she is the ultimate party host. Everything is immaculate and perfect, has themed cocktails and like desserts galore, and it is like the best time ever to go to any event at Molly's house.
Thank you,
And
Ashley.
she posts everything on her Instagram for like inspirations for people.
Oh.
So even if it's like you don't want to know radio stuff or, Bachelor stuff and you didn't watch that and you don't know her from that, but you want tips and ideas on a gorgeous house and awesome ways to throw parties.
Thank
Follow
you,
her.
Ashley.
Yeah.
Is that just like natural talent for you?
My mom always hosted. We grew up in a house where it was like everyone comes to the house anytime, and I knew I wanted to have a home like that.
Yeah.
So Riley always has her friends over. Ty always like our house is like the gathering spot, So I don't know. I just love it. I love having a house full of people. I love it.
That's like my dream too. I love that for you. I always had this fantasy that I was like the stepmom at home when the kids come home. That's like my thing now. Making snacks for everybody. Got my wine ready, and then daddy comes home and it's like, and the kids are over here. Oh my gosh, I love your life. Tell me more.
So Nina, you can follow Molly on Instagram and you can find out how that can be your life.
Oh, I will. She's going to be my friend now too, and she doesn't know it. So.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, you live right by me, so
There you go.
you can come over anytime.
Oh my gosh, I'm so in.
Yes.
What's the one thing you always have in your house ready to serve?
Wine.
I knew it. I kind of figured that after I said it.
White wine. Although if you like red wine, they do have an entire wall of red wine that they will never drink.
I will
Wait,
never.
I don't drink red wine, but I wanted a huge the whole wall is a wine rack.
What?
Yeah, because it just looks cool. So
It does. It
Is
looks
it
really
cheap
cool.
wine or like
No,
fancy
No,
wine?
there's
it's
nice
nice
wine up
wine.
there.
But why won't you drink it then?
It's just decoration. And you know what? Wine, it just gets better with age. So
maybe in her next decade, she'll be like, you know what? I've really discovered a love for red wine. Thank God I've got a crap load of it on my wall.
Meanwhile, the one time she invites me over, she noticed a hole in her wall.
That's okay.
You just bring a bottle of white. She'll give you a bottle of red. You can
swap it out. Well, that's so fun. Molly, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us. I feel like there's so much more that we can touch on that we haven't even yet. So that means you have to come back.
I'll come back.
Just for opinions and all of that. But for people that do want to follow you or know what's going on with you now, like, what are you excited about in your life?
Oh, I don't know.
Wine?
That's a hard question. Yeah, my cocktails with Ashley tonight.
I love it. That works for everybody.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, well, in the meantime, thank you for being here.
Thank
Stay
you.
chaotic.
But keep it classy.
Yay!